Lake Como is one of the most expensive wedding markets in the world right now. So you might be wondering, can I actually pull a wedding off there on a tight budget? Yes, if you know where to look. So stick around if you don't want to give up on your dream of an Italian lakes destination wedding, because we've pulled out the cheapest, most cost-effective, and in my opinion, the highest bang for your buck properties to get married at in Lake Como. And I'm sharing what they charge. But first, hi guys, I'm Kay. I'm a destination wedding planner helping untraditional travel-loving couples plan multi-day intimate destination weddings abroad on a budget. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time I post another video to help you plan your destination wedding successfully. Okay, so as a planner, I have been gathering intel on Lake Como for years because all of these couples keep coming to me with these big hopes and dreams of getting married in Lake Como, and I've had to crush them by telling them they basically need to triple their budget to make it happen. So I have been on a mission to find out how to do this cheaper, because doing this on a budget all comes down to choosing the right venue. Before I get into the list that I'm going to share today with all the pricing information, I want to educate you on what typical pricing looks like in Lake Como so that you have a frame of reference. So Lake Como pricing, it's super high because it's a really beautiful area and it's in very high demand. When you think of those quintessential properties that are super TikTok and Instagram famous, typical pricing that you're gonna see would be around 30,000 euros per night, with some of the most famous properties going up to 50, 60,000 euros per day. These are what I call dream crushing prices. And a lot of times you're paying that much and not necessarily to get anything besides access to the venue. Unlike Tuscany, a lot of these properties don't even include accommodations. To see my list of cheapest Tuscany venues, you can click here. These are prices to walk in and breathe the air for 6 hours. And for a lot of you, that is your total wedding budget, so we can't pay that. Let's jump into it today, but before we do, I'm gonna be sharing pricing information. A disclaimer, pricing information changes every single year, so all of these prices are the current pricing that we have access to. All the prices I'm gonna be sharing today are in euros, and they are inclusive of the value-added taxes. The exchange rate from the euro to the US dollar changes every day, so for clarity's sake, everything is staying in euros today. Let's get into it. The first venue I'm going to tell you about, we're actually planning a wedding there this year. It's the most expensive of all the properties that I will be sharing today, but still a really high bang for your buck. It's called Villa Erba. This property is smack dab right on Lake Como. You can reach down and touch the lake from the ceremony spot. It's a day rental only. There are no accommodations on site, but there are great nearby hotels. And it is a 19th century villa located on the western coast of Lake Como. Couples are drawn to this property because you can have your ceremony right on the lake's edge with that quintessential Lake Como view. And the inside of this property is absolutely spectacular for dinner and dancing. Now you can dance outside till 11 p.m., but you do have to move inside after that for the noise ordinance. Inside you can go till 4 a.m. There's an extra fee for that, which we'll cover in a second. This property can hold a lot of people, so it's a really great option if you have 250 plus. The wedding that we have there this summer is 50 people, and it's still a beautiful option for something more intimate like that. Caveat of this property, there are required vendors that can make it a little bit more expensive, and you have to get all the vendors to send the orders to the venue to approve the pricing and what you're ordering. So there's a little bit of red tape that you have to jump over to get married here. And you have to use their preferred floral, AV, lighting, catering, rentals, and entertainment partners. Let's talk about a current price for a full day, 1 day rental. Up to 150 guests, it's 20,000 euros plus the 22% VAT, so that brings it up to 24,000 euros. Like I said, this is gonna be the most expensive property we talk about today. Still expensive, but when you compare it to other properties that have the same view, the same infrastructure within Lake Como, this is a fraction of the price. Not to mention, if you were to compare it to anything remotely similar within the United States, you would be seeing those same prices. So hello, if we're gonna pay the same rates, we might as well be in Lake Como. Now, if you have over 150 guests, the price increases incrementally by about 2,000 euros. And if you wanna extend your rental past 1 a.m., it's 1,000 euros per hour plus the VAT, and you can go till 4. Let's move on to the venue that, in my opinion, is one of the villas that is the absolute best value and one of the cheapest options in Lake Como. It's Villa Carmenata Resta. This one is also right on the lake. It's an 18th century villa, and it has accommodations on site. It can sleep 8 people. This is also on the west side of Lake Como. It has direct lake access. You can have your ceremony in the lakefront garden, and there's a courtyard area where you could do your cocktail hour. And then they have indoor spaces spaces that also still have a lake view that are available for the reception. There is a 2 a.m. curfew here inside. You can extend to 3 a.m. for a fee. Let's get into the price, which is my favorite part. For the venue only, without the accommodations for the 8 people, it's about 8,500 euro, including VAT, for a weekend, and just over 7,000 euros for a Monday through Thursday rental. Add on the loft and the greenhouse rental on this property, the price will go up to about 9,000 euros for the weekend and about 7,300 euros for Monday through Thursday. So the maximum you're paying for this property for one day is about 9,700 euros, which to be at a villa on the side of Lake Como, touching the lake, is a deal. What's even better is if you have a really small guest count, you can actually take off the use of the main building and only use the lakefront garden, the loft, and the courtyard, and that's only 4,700 euros. But if you just want to do everything, the whole property and the rooms on site that sleep the 8 people, that's 11,000 euros per night for a weekend, or 9,200 euros for Monday through Thursday. If you'd like to extend the party from 2 to 3, it's just an additional fee of about 1,800 euros. Now I buried the lead. The best part of all of those prices that I just shared with you, those are high season prices from May through September, meaning if you got married here in October through May, it costs even less. Prices drop around 1,200 euros across the board if you move to low season. Let's move on to one of our absolute favorites. Again, super high value for dollar. It's Villa Regina Teo de Linda. This is also right on the edge of Lake Como in Laglio. Our team loves this property. We visited last year. There's lakeside access. Again, you can literally come and go via boat. Unlike the other properties we've talked about so far, it has a pool and the accommodations on site. So this one gives more of a family vacation vibe rather than wedding venue vibes. This property is an amazing deal because it has 6 suites that sleep 12 people. So this is perfect if you want to have your VIP guests stay with you and all the rest of your family are staying close by at hotels. Caveat to this one, similar to the first venue we talked about, there are required vendors. And the other caveat is that it's actually a maximum of a 2-night stay. This is unlike a lot of properties that we see where there's typically a minimum stay of 2 or 3 nights. For this property, you can't stay more than 2 nights. If you do choose to have the property here for 2 nights, you have to host an event on each day, meaning you'd have to have your welcome party there on the day before. They're basically relying on the food and beverage minimum from an additional party if you decide to stay. But I mean, twist my arm, I'll stay an extra night. The other caveat with this is that there is a 50 guest minimum. So if you have less than 50 guests, you can still get married here, but you're gonna get charged the food and beverage prices based on 50 guests. All right, let's talk about the best part, the price. May through September, which is high season, it's about 12,200 euros per night, and you can do 1 night if you don't want to do 2, and that's for the weekend price. You'll shave 2,000 euros off of that if you decide to move to midweek. In low season, so April and October, the price is even better. It's about 8,500 euro per night for the Saturday. For a midweek price, it's just 6,100 euros per night. And remember, you can have your guests pay for those rooms so that you can subsidize the cost of this nightly rate, making it even less for you. Guys, I'm telling you, these rates are just unheard of for Lake Como. Quick pause, if this is resonating with you, please hit that like button right now. Let's move on to our next property. It's literally right next door, Villa Relay Victoria. This is a boutique hotel, also in Laglio. It's right next to Teo de Linda. We also got to visit this property last year. We got to stay overnight. It was lovely. This one we love because it's even bigger. It sleeps 26 guests across 13 rooms, and they actually have another 4 rooms available at their sister villa, Villa Casa Cecilia. So it is a boutique hotel, but you can rent the whole thing out to make it a villa, or you can do a partial rental and know that there's other hotel guests there with you, but that saves a ton of money. At this property, there are tons of al fresco spaces for you to have ceremony, cocktail, dinner, all outside. You can have live music outside till 8 p.m., but then you move inside to their winery and you can dance inside there till 11 p.m. during the week, 11:30 on Saturdays. It's on the smaller side. It can technically sit up to 68 people for a seated dinner, and then there's another 25 people that could sit on the veranda. But having been there in person, we recommend 60 or less as like the most optimal comfortable amount here. Now, if you have less than 30 guests, that's when you can decide not to do the exclusive buyout of the villa. If you have more than 30 guests, you have to buy out all the rooms. So let's assume that you have more than 30 guests first. And let's talk first just the venue rental fee, and then we'll talk about what the accommodations cost. So from high season in June through September, that fee is about 12,800 euros for the exclusive use of the property. That price drops dramatically in low season, which at this property, May is included in low season, which is great. But that's technically April, May, and October. The exclusive fee is 6,200 euros. So again, this is the fee that you're paying to shut down the whole hotel to have it for just you and your guests. So if you have less than 30 people and you don't care about there being other hotel guests in the public spaces of the hotel while you're doing your wedding events, that price is zero. You're not paying for anything except for the rooms. Let's get into the room price. To book all 13 rooms, June, July, August, September, and holidays, the total is 9,000 euros per night. For May and the first half of October, price goes down to around 7,200 euros per night. Other periods outside that in low season, it's only 5,100 euros per night. Guys, I can't stress to you how cheap that is for something this beautiful in this location. That also includes breakfast. And remember, your guests can pay you for these rooms too. So this 5,000, 7,000, 9,000 euros, depending on the time of year you're getting married, could effectively be zero if you charge them the right amount for the rooms. Or you can pay half and they can pay half and everyone's happy and you save so much money. Couple caveats with this property. If you don't pay for that exclusivity, the pool and the public spaces within the property are open to other hotel guests. So even if you pay for exclusivity on the wedding day, the day before, if you're there, the exclusivity isn't guaranteed. You can pay for that day to be exclusive to you and your guests as well if you want for an additional fee. That's around 5,000 euros per day midweek, 6,000 euros per day Saturday or Sunday. Those prices go down to about half of that in the low season. But again, you can avoid all those fees if you're okay with non-exclusivity. Okay, let's move on now to a couple venues that are not on Lake Como, but they're surrounding the other lakes in the lakes region of Italy that are super cheap. So you can get the same Lake Como vibe and access to these types of areas, but you get so much more value for dollar and they're very cheap. First one is about a 35-minute drive from Lake Garda is Convento del Annunziata. This is a fantastic option that's beautiful, it's cheap, and it's within driving distance of everything that you want to see. This one's not a hotel, it's a 15th century family estate. It is a venue rental only, there are no accommodations on site, so you'll be staying at hotels nearby, and the venue rental fee is only 8,000 euros. That's the weekend price. For Monday through Thursday, it's only 7,000. Okay, let's talk about another one. This one is Dimora La Catalina. It sits on a private hill overlooking Lake Iseo. It's about 15 minutes by car from the town of Iseo, but you can see the lake from the property. It's a renovated farmhouse surrounded by woods and olive trees and has a panoramic view of the lake. It is a venue only. There are no accommodations, so you'll be staying at a hotel nearby. The best news is that this one is the cheapest one. Depending on the day of the week you choose, the price to rent this property is as low as 2,500 euros, up to 4,000 euros. Damn, that's cheap. There's a cool hotel nearby called Hotel Mirabella, so you can put all your guests there and then do this property for the wedding. That's like unheard of lake pricing. Now that you know some of these hidden gems and their prices, it's time to figure out what the rest of your wedding will cost. To do that, you can download my free pricing guide to estimate the cost of your destination wedding in Europe. The link to that is below. For even must-know tips from me to plan your destination wedding successfully, be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and watch this video next.